Hi, good morning. Give me a minute. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. I sneezed before I went live, so yeah. Okay, it went away. Hello. It's been a while since I've been at Tiny Bunny, and I'm here. I have returned. Anyone that's hearing me about this, like, well, damn, took you long enough? I know there's someone out there that actually would. But yeah. It's good to be back to this game. I really enjoyed it. I think I played the first 2 episodes only, or maybe 3. I could be completely wrong. The last I played was October 20th. So it's been a minute. It'll almost be a year. But so we're just gonna go episode 3 on end. The wolf's gray fur will stand. From what I remember, yes, this kid actually went missing. You think he did it? We're just going straight into it. Okay, I know it's weird, but yeah. He's a weirdo. The Worm. Farewells, Romka and Biasha shouted at the back. A fleeing Semyon echoed inside my head.
Горло тебе перережу, слышишь?
I'll cut your throat, you hear?
Свинья!
Porky. Was Romka serious about his threats? Would he chase his former friend deep into the forest and then what? Kill him? Just like that? No. That can't be right. I hurriedly rubbed my glasses. The glasses! Semyon was clutching them in his fist while trying to escape the barrage of kicks and slaps from his friends. Former friends by now. And in just a couple of hours, this lost item was lying on the ledge of my window. It was hard to imagine that Semyon, that I can't read, suddenly got guilty conscience and returned my glasses in such a strange way. Sioma. I was shocked, but kept walking toward the classroom, accompanied by nasty whispers all around me. That photo still stood before my eyes. Semyon has gone missing. Semyon is gone. His fat fingers will never get to my throat. His signet ring won't smash into my chin. He'll never humiliate me again. I showed him the way. Wasn't that what I wished for? On the other hand, did I really wish Semyon to become a murky stain on the notice board? He was still someone's son, or a grandson, and he went through the same struggles as me. Did I really wish for my unseen companion to dispatch him in such a brutal fashion? Yes, I did. I mean, no, I didn't know the answer. Or I was just scared of it. Nonetheless, school still had something nice about it. Polina, the girl with the violin, was like a mountain spring, like well water that you gulp down, pressing your lips against the zinc outer ring of a bucket, and can't ever get enough. What if I make her one of the characters in the story I'll draw? The protagonist will save her from terrifying monsters. As soon as I thought of monsters, a bunch of classmates slid down the rails, smirking like a xenomorph from the Alien. I immediately felt larvae of fear writhe in my stomach. I didn't want to cross paths with Romka and Biasha after what happened yesterday, especially since Semyon suddenly went missing. I entered the classroom and went toward the last row. All of the chatter suddenly died down, so I walked there in complete silence. Felt like my classmates pushed and poked me with their stares. They carefully observed my every move. I stared at the desk with a huge pile of library textbooks on top, my fists clenched. It felt like I was the one who disappeared in that snowy forest, and my desk was finally used for something worthwhile. Semyon's empty chair stood in front of me. The chair that once belonged to Vova gathered dust somewhere in another classroom. What if I don't want to sit down? They deserve to see my presence. Okay, I'll sit down. After a moment of hesitation, I sat down at Baburin's desk, the place where I was supposed to be assigned by Lila Pavlovna at first. The chatter resumed as if someone just unpaused the movie.
Бабушка Бабурина такой кипиш устроила, когда он домой не явился.
Baburin's grandma made such a fuss when he didn't return home. And you say this like it's any of my business.
Прибежала, потом ментов вызвала.
First she ran to the school, then called the cops. Yes, yes, yes! Katya snuck a cunning glance at me, then leaned into her neighbor and whispered something. Girls from the second row also leaned in. She shared something with them too. Whispers, nods. I kept catching her stare on myself. Her neighbor stared too. The whole class was watching me. It was like they felt the need to watch me because they were searching for traces of blood on my fingers. I wanted to defend myself and shout, "Guys, listen! I'm innocent! That bitch up there is clearing her throat. She got the guilty conscience. It's her, not me. You all are bastards. Just because I'm the new kid?" Romka gave me a heavy, worried look. He was probably as stunned by Semyon's disappearance as everyone else. But then he directed his stare straight at my face. Felt like he was about to point his finger at me and shout at the top of his lungs. "Everyone, look! Baburin snatched his glasses yesterday, and now he has them back. Murderer!" But he remained silent, as if there was nothing special at all about my glasses. I may be going mad, but I think Romka knows something. He knows something, but he won't tell me what. But it was also possible he didn't care at all, just like everyone else. Then Romka shifted his eyebrows in suspicion and stared at Katya, as if informing her that he didn't believe a word she said. I wanted to believe that Romka would take my side. After all, I defended myself and showed that I could kick ass. I had Biasha, who sat sprawled in his chair with his chin pressed against the table too. He was too lazy to give a fuck, but they were silent. A terrifying thought flashed in my mind. Those two could easily betray me, push me off the cliff, as they did their old friend. Just like they did with Semyon, I just said that. As if looking for protection, I clutched the ruler into my hand, hurt.
Не надо быть Коломбо, чтобы догадаться.
You don't have to be Columbo to solve this. Who is Columbo? An American crime drama television series starring Peter Falk as Columbo, a homicide detective with the Los Angeles Police Department. So I know of Cole Phelps from the hit video game L.A. Noire. Granted, Columbo probably was an inspiration for that, but I could be wrong, since L.A. Noire actually used the real-life cases pulled from the headlines. Anyway, that's completely besides the point.
Кто на Бабурина зуб имел?
Who held a grudge against Baburin?
Кто его вчера ударил? Поиздевался, а после...
Who hit him yesterday, bullied him, and then... The metal ruler fell out of my weak fingers. It hit the floor with a jingle, and that made the other kid shudder. Katya bit her tongue, and squirmed nervously. I'll make her bite her finger too. Rip that shit off. Chairs scraped against the floor. My classmates moved away from me, closer to the exit, towards the teacher's desk. I was not the only one to catch wind of that change. Romka and Biasha looked around and winced in contempt. It's good that they were clearly on my side.
Прикуси ты!
Shut it!
Бабурин, небось, с бабкой посрался и дымил на...
I bet your Baburin just got a whipping from his old hag and ran off.
Скоро найдется.
They'll find him soon.
Найдется, ага.
Uh-huh, yeah, they'll find him alright.
Во враге, со вспоротым брюхом.
In a ravine, with the stomach cut open. I gulped. She's foreshadowing her own demise. You're next. But it'll be too obvious. Kill off the person that suspects me the most. You're right. I need to kill off my friends first. What am I talking about? I imagine Sioma on a snowy blanket. His face, white like a fish belly, split down the middle by a crevice of his mouth. Snowflakes falling on his glassy eyes filled up his throat. See? I could almost hear his condescending tone. It's all your fault. Of course, Semyon did me a favor by disappearing. Thanks to him, my classmates now stared at me in awe. I am now one of the popular kids. But that was only one side of the coin. The other side? I demand respect. What if I'll have to repay that favor soon? The door creaked. Polina entered the classroom. I straightened up in a hurry so she wouldn't see me looking like a scared critter. My love, I'm as brave a man as the rumors say. Polina found me with her eyes, gave me a short nod, and went to her seat. She believes in me. Katya rushed to her neighbors again, like a lab rat that saw a treat, and started whispering, switching her gaze between me and Polina. Messages on pieces of paper started jumping around the classroom. Damn it, if you all have something to say it to my face before I use this ruler and shove it in yours. You're lucky the bell started to ring. The ringer's trill announced at the start of the class.
Так, заканчиваем бардак. Дети, встаньте.
Alright, stop messing around. Class, stand up.
Петров, тебя это тоже касается.
Petrov, you too. Ain't no laziness allowed in my classroom. Lilia Pavlovna went to her desk, followed by a policeman in a uniform. It was the man that visited us recently. Tall, and his stare so sharp you could get cut on it.
Здрасте.
Yes. Hello there, kids.
Здравствуйте!
Is that hi in Russian? Hi!
Садитесь.
You can sit down, kids.
Познакомьтесь. Это старший лейтенант Константин Владимирович Тихонов.
This is Senior Lieutenant Konstantin Vladimirovich Tikhonov. I've said the last name wrong, but you're all my students. I expect more.
Он задаст вам несколько вопросов и проведет небольшую лекцию по безопасности.
He's going to ask you a couple of questions and give you a small PSA.
Лучше лекция от милиционера, чем уроки. Да! Уроки не будет здорово! Ура!
You could tell this police officer hated his job having to talk to all these kids. I mean, the class livened up. Talking to a policeman was way better than studying. I, on the other hand, was ready to sit through hundreds of hours of Russian literature just to escape the lieutenant's oppressive stare. His brown eyes felt around the classroom, looking for me. Hair stood on the back of my neck, and an icicle has lodged in my gut.
А правда, что Бабурина маньяк убил?
Is it true that Baburin got killed by a serial killer?
Екатерина, ну-ка цыц. Вопросы здесь взрослые задают.
Shush, Ekaterina. Let the adults ask questions here. You're nothing but a bitch. So now shut up. I'm the one that's gonna start asking questions.
Просто нам всем страшно.
We're all scared. If you're so scared, quit looking at your suspected murderer.
Может, убийца бродит где-то рядом?
Maybe the killer is somewhere close.
Или сидит у нас за спиной?
Maybe they're even sitting among us. I'll prove it to you. Come over here. I have something to say. You're gonna be seeing it 6 feet under pretty soon. Her sly stare was directed at me. Tikhonov stepped in between the rows of desks and started walking at an excruciatingly slow pace, brushing his fingers against the chairs that he passed by. Some of the students almost broke their necks following his movements. That's how a crowd of commoners would gleefully anticipate a public execution in the Middle Ages. And he just walked, getting closer and closer to me. I gritted my teeth to stop myself from screaming. Calm down. Breathe. You didn't kill or kidnap anyone. He already knew the answer to his question, but the policeman still asked in a stern voice.
Петров Антон.
Anton Petrov.
Да.
Yes?
Встань, Петров.
Stand up, Petrov. My muscles turned to stone. I got up, unglued myself from my chair. I felt like I could hear all my joints creak and process, just as I would right now if I'd remembered to correct my posture. My back would crack 1,000,000 times over. I only wished that Polina wouldn't turn around and see the grimace of horror on my face. If only I could be somewhere far away, in the forest, digging myself into a snow pile. rolling up into a ball there. The officer stared at me as if he was about to lock a pair of handcuffs on my wrist. I wonder how cold those bracelets are to the touch. I imagine myself getting jailed and put into a juvenile detention center where tens of Semyons would constantly harass me.
Я ничего не знаю. Я тут ни при чем.
I don't know anything. I have nothing to do with this.
А тебя никто и не обвиняет.
Nobody's accusing you of
Пока
anything.
что.
For now. Only then I noticed a file that said case number in his hand. It had a gray cover made from rough carton. It flopped onto the desk like a guillotine blade that slid down on someone's neck. With a measured motion, Tikhonov opened the file, still studying me with his gaze. I caught a glimpse of documents and photos. They showed prints on the snow. They looked like animal prints.
Ты с Семеном Бабуриным общался?
Have you talked to Semyon Baburin before?
Я знал его всего один день.
I only knew him for a day.
Все знают, Петров его ненавидел.
Everyone knows that Petrov hated him. Bitch, this whole entire class hated him. Get your facts straight. I turned red. You ugly bitch. I wanted to sink my teeth into Katya's face and chew out her cheek. Instead, I replied with the calmest voice I could muster.
Мы повздорили вчера.
We had a fight yesterday. I won. I beat his ass so hard he didn't want to see me anymore, so he ran home to his mama. And his mama beat his ass too for losing a fight.
Но он первый начал.
But he started it. Just let me make that clear. He started it. I was defending myself.
Я его ударил.
So I hit him. As I said, I'm defending myself.
Сильно?
How hard did you hit him?
Да нет, так.
Not that hard. I mean, look at my arms. I got arms of Mike Wazowski here. I waved my hand indecisively. Tikhonov looked at my fist as if he was surprised that I managed to hit the big kid from the photo. Surprisingly, Lilia Pavlovna came to my rescue.
Бабурин проблемный подросток. С шилом кое-где.
Baburin is a troubled teen. A true pain in the rear.
Сам ко всем лез.
Always picking fights with the other kids. Even I hated him. I would have killed him too if someone else didn't beat him to me. I mean, it's a shame we lost another student. The officer replied with a meaningful nod and fished out the notebook of the file.
Это твое?
Is this yours? I don't know the meaning of the word. I averted my gaze. It was a math notebook with my name on it. My classmates devoured me greedily with their eyes. It felt like even the writers of the portraits squinted at me in suspicion.
Мое.
Yes, but you see, it went missing. And that fat kid probably stole it because he stole my
В
backpack.
лесу нашли.
We found it in the forest. I take the forest route home.
Там же тракторист, что снег убирал в последний раз, видел Бабурина.
In the area where the tractor driver who was plowing snow there last saw Baburin. Again, he was stalking me, okay? You wouldn't. I started blinking in bewilderment. Romka ransacked my school bag. This notebook probably just got lost somewhere in the bushes. The lieutenant knew about the school brawl, but he was aware of the fight in the forest. Oh, but was he aware of the fight in the forest clearing? I had witnesses that could testify to Semyon and I walking in different directions after that. I looked towards the boys, hopeful. Romka, who sat behind Tikhonov, put a finger to his lips. He wants me to shut my fucking mouth, you bastard. And when the officer quickly turned around, he pretended to pick on his nose. I deciphered his signal. Boys like fuck my mouth, I can't speak. Boys like Romka would probably say something like, snitches get stitches, in a situation like this. I frantically fixed my glasses. Wait, Semyon took them away from me yesterday, but now
Так
they're...
что ты делал вчера в лесу, Антон?
So what were you doing in the forest yesterday, Anton? Like I said, I'm walking
Я в
home.
школу через лес хожу.
I go to school through the forest.
Могла выпасть легко.
It could have easily fallen out of my bag. You've been to my house, you should know this! Easily, just like me producing this half-truth.
Будь осторожнее.
Be careful out there. Before I could realize whether it was a genuine piece of advice or a veiled threat, the teacher
Класс.
said,
А сейчас лейтенант расскажет о правилах, которые вам необходимо соблюдать.
Class, the officer will now tell you about some rules you should follow, and if you don't follow, I got a ruler, and this ruler will find you when you break these rules.
Так маньяк все-таки есть.
So the killer does exist. Yeah, you want to be his next victim, Katya? I know his number.
Пока мы ничего вам сказать не можем.
We can't make any of this public for now, so shut your bitch-ass mouth up before I take you in for obstruction. Romka swayed in his chair and gave me a thumbs up. Attaboy. Good job at keeping your trap shut. I nodded, even though I didn't feel a shred of pride from his praise. After all, he was the one who threw my notebooks and textbooks in the snow. He was the one ordering Semyon, despite changing his allegiance later.
Но есть преступник или нет, вы должны четко помнить о собственной безопасности.
Whether the criminal really exists or not, you should be mindful of your safety.
Вас бережет милиция. Вас опекают родители и учителя. Но в первую очередь защищать себя должны вы сами.
The police, your parents, and your teachers all watch over you. But no one guards you better than you yourself. I had a hard time reading that for some
Итак,
reason.
кто там что хотел узнать?
Alright, any questions? The stockade of arms rose from the desk. I'm glad none of you had any questions. I got a job to do. I hate this job, but damn it, someone's got to do it. I'll see you all later.
У вас оружие с собой? А покажите пистолет.
А покажите, пожалуйста. А охрану у школы выставят? У нас будет охрана.
The kids shouted over each other, swarming the policemen with questions. In an attempt to calm down the chorus, he moved toward the blackboard. The gray file was left lying in front of me. I stared at it, my breathing so ragged that it might have looked like someone who just ran a 100-meter sprint. Beads of sweat rolled down my back. I looked around the classroom. My classmates were watching the officers every word. Oh, we're catching it. Only Romka was saying something to Biasha. Lilia Pavlovna was staring into the window, fighting back yawns.
Объявлять комендантский час, причин пока нет.
I guess I'll own it. I'll open it. As soon as I touched the folder, Tikhonov lashed at me with his eyes. My hand instinctively moved away as if that stare actually hurt. The officer just kept staring at me without saying a word, making me squirm under the weight of this uncomfortable silence and the sneering looks of my classmates. And then he suddenly continued his speech as if nothing ever happened. Yo, man, you gotta give me a jump scare like just because I got curious? I'm whatever age this kid is. Fine.
Слишком мало времени.
I guess I gotta wait for him to turn around?
Одноклассника.
Nobody paid me any mind, so I slowly opened the file. My fingers started sifting through the documents. Ksenia Talaleva. I butchered names, I'm sorry. 6 years old. Left her home sometime in December. Identifying features. Okay. My heart almost jumped from my ribcage. A round-faced girl no older than Olia smiled at me from the photo. The first victim of a serial killer? The first child to disappear in the forest without a trace? I turned another page. Vladimir Matyukin. 10 years old. Avova was the second. His mitten hanging from the branch. His name called out by desperate adults and repeated by a sneering echo. Lilia Pavlovna coughed, trying to calm down the rowdy students. I yanked my hand away and the file closed.
Как известно, в наших лицах водятся волки, медведи, лисы.
I clenched my teeth from the surprise, pushed myself into the back of the chair, blinking in bewilderment. The officer silently gathered the documents and gave me a stern look.
Больно ты любопытный, Петров.
Well, aren't you a curious boy, Petrov? You need help with this case or not?
И еще раз.
You missed a policeman's speech. Okay, I was caught napping, I guess. Let me say this again.
Если вы заметите в поселке кого-то подозрительного, неважно, возле школы или на лесной тропинке, сразу сообщайте в милицию.
If you see anyone suspicious in the village, be it near the school or on the forest trail, contact the police immediately. I know you're all kids. None of you have cell phones, but send up a fire. We'll be
Телефон
there.
знаете?
You know our number, right? 02.
Спасибо, ребята.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls.
Спасибо, Лилия Павловна.
Thank you, Lilia
И
Pavlovna.
это,
And
одноклассника вашего мы найдем.
we'll find your classmates. Yeah, right. A thought flashed through my mind. Dig through enough ditches and maybe you'll be able to piece them together. Like Legos. My thoughts turned evil for some reason, and I couldn't control them. I tried to switch to the lieutenant's speech about suspicious individuals. What if I saw the killer before? What if I was a hair's breadth away from them? Suspicious people, How suspicious was the fox girl that wandered in the darkness? A weirdo that always appears out of nowhere and then dissolves into thin air with her riddles and rhymes. Could she really harm the hulking Semyon? Should I tell the officer about her? What if lives of other kids depend on this? Of the cute, I can't say Senia. I would say I'm sorry, I don't know Russian. And Vova too. Wait. What if I get mocked for speaking out? What if they'll start whispering behind my back? Or what's even worse, think that I'm insane? Romka gave me a stern look over his shoulder. I doubt someone like him would approve of cooperating with the police. Katya's braid dangled nervously behind the delinquent sitting in front of me. My hand was glued to the desk.
До свидания, лейтенант.
Tokenov was saying goodbye to Lilia Pavlovna. He was about to leave. It'll be too late soon. I will save for now. Granted, I'm gonna replay this entire thing. I don't know when, but no, don't overwrite my save. I'll save it there. I'm gonna keep quiet about this. No way. I've had enough of humiliation. Who's actually gonna believe me saying, "Oh, there's a girl with a fox mask"? Am I describing myself? Did I kill the Semyon? Did they put me in the game? I'll keep my head down, like a bunny. I locked my fingers and zipped my mouth. You avoided everyone's attention, quiet as a mouse. The bell rang. Lilia Pavlovna passed by without looking my way. Paulina left after her. My classmates went silent at the same time, as if someone muted the sound on the TV. They followed me with their eyes, the whole time I was passing between the rows. Just mental looks. I felt like I was in the scopes of many sniper rifles. I squeezed through the barricade made of desks, looking for Paulina. But instead, I stumbled into my new buddies. Romka and Biasha were waiting for me at the notice board.
Я в тебе не ошибся, Тошик.
I was right about you, Toshik.
Пацан! Не спалил, как мы чуть было свинью не забили.
Attaboy. You didn't rat us out. You know us roughing a Porky.
Это повело бы милицию по ложному следу.
This would have given the police a false lead,
Наверное.
I think.
А вы точно не имеете отношения к исчезновению Семёна?
Are you sure you have nothing to do with Semyon's disappearance?
Мы-то нет, а вот ты.
No. But what about you?
Помнишь, как срулил от нас в потемках?
Remember how you bailed out on us in the darkness? No.
Я так и говорю. Очкарик, дверь!
Yeah, I was like, this Four Eyes is a beast. I don't remember any of
Ядерного
that.
нагонит и кокнет на!
We'll catch up with the fatso and end him, eh?
Базаришь.
What he said.
Однако мы тебе верим, а ты нам?
But we believe you. Works both ways, right? Romka's stern look made me uncomfortable, so I nodded.
Вот ты славно.
Good to hear. Romka lowered his voice and looked around the corridor in suspicion. The other kids were stealing glances at us, whispering.
Что ж, Сёма пропал, это правда.
So, Sioma is missing. That's a fact.
Как и факт, что не просто пропал,
Not just
скорее
missing,
всего уже сдох.
but most likely already dead. Biasha shuddered.
А ты почем знаешь?
How do you know that?
Так
Because
мы за это уже терли.
we already
Здесь
talked about
такие
this.
случаи не впервой.
It's not the first time this had happened.
Думаешь, Сенечка, Вова этот и Сёма в Нарнию попали?
Where are you going, Biasha? Think. Senechka, Vova, and Syama went to Narnia,
Посидят в лесу с карамелькой за щекой и назад пришлепают.
and they'll return from the forest after hanging out there, sucking on some candy. Some goat man named Tomness.
Ясно же, кто их к себе прибрал.
It's clear who got them.
Неужели черный?
Can it be the black?
Маничела!
The serial killer!
Бля, буду пацаны, это все местная Чикатило.
Sure as fuck, guys. It's a local... How? Chikatilo? What the fuck is that? A Soviet serial killer and cannibal. He sexually assaulted and killed at least 43 people. Mostly women and children. He was later deemed legally sane and sentenced to death by a firing squad. Wow. I didn't expect firing squad to be a thing, but... Is that like any different from what we do here in the US? Which... I don't remember all of the execution styles we had here for that. I know there's the electric chair. I believe right now it's the lethal injection, but I hear that they might change that as well. I do not know if we've done hanging or guillotines. We might have done hanging. But yeah, I don't know if we ever did firing squads. Firing squads I know were probably done in the military back then, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know much about the death sentence other than what's more recent or more popular, which obviously through movies we know the electric chair, and then there's obviously the lethal injection now.
Вычислить бы еще, кто он такой.
If only we could find out who he is.
Ну, если этот убийца Бабурина завалил, он и по нашу душу явится, отвечаю.
Well, if that killer off the Baburi, he'll come after us too.
Что же делать?
What do we do now?
Вместе держаться, вот что. Втроем мы, как Вольтрон.
Stay together. That's what. The three of us are like Voltron. I know Voltron is the thing that has multiple, I'll say, an anime series about 5 teenagers that pilot robot lions that can fuse into a single mega robot to protect the universe from the forces of evil. It was aired in Russia during the 1990s on channel 2x2. Is that an actual... I probably said that wrong, but I don't know they had multiple. But yeah, I guess we're Voltron.
Это... В Вольтроне их 5 было.
There were 5 of them in Voltron, eh?
Ну, считай, мы покалеченный Вольтрон.
Well, we're an injured Voltron then. He looked at me with an adult gaze and nodded. His eyes were full of worry and sadness.
Ладно, раз Сёмы больше нет,
Whatever.
айда с нами.
Since Sioma is no longer with us, let's go.
Дело одно есть. Постоишь для вида, покараулишь. Тебя, кажется, уже боятся все.
We have a job to do. You keep watch for us. Everybody seems to be scared shitless of you. Scared shitless? Of me? Well, I still couldn't wrap all that around my head. Their attitude softened me up, and I agreed on the spot. I followed Romka and Biasha through the twilight corridors of our school, savoring my newfound brazenness. We walked pompously, like heroes of some criminal drama, as if the three of us had access to some knowledge hidden from everybody else. I'm not sure I would have gone with them if they told me what the goal of our campaign was. We hid in the darkness near the school gym, and my companions started rubbing their knuckles, watching boys leave the dressing room. Finally, Biasha pointed at someone inside the crowd.
Вон этот лох!
Here's that sucker! Romka smiled dangerously and proclaimed in a low voice.
Стой на стрёме, и если кто изучил, как объявится, дай знать.
Keep watch. If you see a teacher, let us know.
Гляди в 4 глаза.
Watch. Watch with all 4 eyes, will eh?
Давай, давай! Ты нам должен.
I stood at the corner, filled with conflicting feelings and thoughts.
Ты чё, не
In a cul-de-sac behind me, Romka was having a back and forth with some 5th
Может,
grader.
тебя на счетчик поставить, а? У шлепок мы...
The boy was protesting on the verge of tears, but Romka stood his ground, spewing countless obscenities at him, with Biasha occasionally adding a couple of words on his own. Would Dad praise me for involving myself with this?
Всё, вали давай.
Alright, now scram. My new friends came out of the cul-de-sac. A light bulb illuminated the camera in Romka's hands.
Ого, полароид.
Wow, a Polaroid. Is it yours? Romka shook the black electronics marble with the retractable flash, disinterested.
Теперь мой.
It is now.
Мне тут один должник велик торчал за свой гнилой базар.
There was the guy who owed me a bike for talking shit.
Но, говорит, нет у него велосипеда.
Turned out, he didn't have one.
Вот и расплатился фотиком.
So he paid me with the cam.
А мне он, честно говоря, в хер не впился.
And I have jack shit use for it. I felt bad for that boy, but all the negative thoughts disappeared when I looked at the treasured camera. I could clearly imagine how happy Olia would be with the Polaroid. I imagined myself taking pictures of my sister, dad, and mom. The faces of my family would gradually appear on the hard paper as if emerging from the dissolving mist. I'd take pictures of Paulina too. That way I'd be able to get her photo for myself. I'd keep it in my desk under lock and key.
Раз он тебе не нужен, можешь мне его отдать?
If you don't need it, can I get it? Roma measured me with a sharp glare, turning into the Romka I'd met yesterday. The callous leader of a carnivorous pack.
Ты извини, братан, но я вещами просто так не разбрасываюсь.
Sorry, bro, but I don't throw away things like that.
Могу в ломбард загнать, ну или разыграть во что-нибудь.
I can drop it at a pawn shop, or bet it on some game. For some reason, as soon as he mentioned the game, I remembered Alisa. I looked at the
Ну
Polaroid.
давай я с тобой на него сыграю.
Well,
Во что?
let's play for it then. You have a game in mind? Biyasha snickered into his fist.
Чаром! Снимем с нашего Антошки последние штаны.
Yo, Romka, shall we make Antoshka lose his shirt?
Я тебя чё, пидор с пацанов штаны снимать?
Do I look like someone who'd strip another dude to you? Romka stared at me from above.
На что играть собрался?
What do you have to bet?
У тебя хоть бабки есть?
You even have cash?
Во-во! Свети карманы, Тосик.
That's right. What's in your pockets, Toshik? You're just giving me different names each time. I slowly turned the pockets of my pants inside out, in vain hopes of salvaging at least some change from my lunch money. Something rustled in my pocket. I fished out the Mercedes-Benz insert I got thanks to Alisa. I guess I shoved it there without thinking when it flew out of my school bag with all the notebooks.
А на вкладыши играете?
Will you play for this insert? Yasha's eyes almost popped out of their sockets as soon as I brought this card's picture closer. But Romka didn't move a muscle.
Хочешь, чтобы я целый фотик за какой-то там фантик отдал?
Want me to bet a whole cam for some insert?
Это
That's,
Да жвачки это рубль цена, а в полароиде кассета еще целая.
The gum is worth 1 ruble, and this Polaroid has fresh cartridge inside.
да, это да!
Look, that's...
Ой, у меня
I have a
таких
shit ton of
пальцев
inserts like that.
жопой жуй, на кой мне еще?
Why would I want?
Мерседес-Бенц, на! Его-то нам и не хватало, Робить!
Mercedes-Benz, eh? The one we're still missing, Romka.
Фу, блин.
Romka spit on the ground and slapped Biasha over the back of the head.
Ну ты и трепло, братка. Теперь он за него цену до небес взвинтит.
Why can't you keep your mouth shut? Now he'll jack up the price. Just like I suspected, this automobile was a valuable addition for every turbo gum collector.
Ага, значит, появился интерес?
Aha! So this caught your eye after all.
Так во что будем играть?
What are we going to play?
Подкидного!
These Drak.
В ножички?
Bubble Tea Peg. In the blink of an eye, a greasy deck of most likely marked cards appeared in Biasha's hands, and Romka masterfully swung his butterfly knife, like in front of my nose. I had no desire to play by the
А давайте в
rules.
камень-ножницы.
Let's play rock, paper, scissors.
О, а ты у нас любишь рисковать.
Oh, I see you're a gambler.
Ну что, мой полароид против твоего Мерса?
Alright, my Polaroid against your Mercedes. Deal. Ah, shit. You're about to make me decide on this? Is it just like one and done, or is it best out of 3? Oh boy. Okay, I don't know which one to go with on this one. I was gonna say maybe flip a coin for it, but I can't There's no three-sided coins. I'll go. I was gonna go rock just because I feel like he would go scissors because he likes to cut stuff. But it also would make sense for him to go rock because he also likes to hit stuff as well. So paper? No, I have a. Are my knuckles bloodied? What am I looking at? Okay, you know what? Let's go rock. If I fail, I'll just load back.
Есть!
Yes! I raise my fist towards the ceiling in triumph.
Стопэ.
Wait.
До 3 побед играть.
We do it best of 5 here. Oh, it's best of 5. So I need to win 2 more.
А раньше сказать.
Why didn't you say that earlier?
Думал, все так просто будет, да?
Did you think it'd be that easy, eh?
Мой, чё ты хмуришься так? Один раз уже выиграл, преимущество на твоей стороне.
What's with the pouting face? You already have the advantage here.
Давай-ка продолжим. 1, 2, 3!
I know 1, 2, 3 is Ras, 2, 3 because of there's a song that I listen to. And yeah, 1, 2, 3 I figured out is Ras, 2, 3. Let's continue. Ras, 2, 3. Alright. Let's go scissors this time. Damn. Alright. Go back to the rock. Oh, we tied. Alright, there's no way you're gonna stick rock for 3 times in a row. Okay, you stayed rock. So let's go paper then. Alright, let's go back to the rock since I feel like I should stake paper. Let's go. Okay. I'll go paper again. I'm gonna go back to the rock. And did I win? I won? I won. I looked at my opponent with suspicion.
Ну, я выиграл.
So,
Теперь мне нужно еще и Бяшу обыграть.
do I win now? Or do I need to be Biasha too? Romka mumbled something under his breath. He probably refused to play by the rules, and I'll be left with nothing.
Эй, Ромыч, все по чесноку, на!
Hey, Romka, you won fair and square, eh? You won in rock, paper, scissors. Romka reluctantly gave up.
Везучий ты, сука.
You're one.
Держи.
I'm pretty sure Suka is something else, but that's probably some story for another time. You're one lucky bastard. Here,
Только писюн свой не фоткай.
just don't take pictures of your wiener. Look, don't tell me how to live my life. I mean, of course not. I weighed the Polaroid on my palms and realized that I was smirking, like a true winner. It's been 7 days since the lieutenant visited our class. At first glance, everything was still the same. The forest still held out its gnarly claws toward the village, and the wind whipped up white flags weaved from powdery snow every night. When my parents argued in the other room, I would turn up the TV's volume to silence their muffled voice and sit close to Olia. Volva's and Semyon's photos are still 2 black spots on the notice board, and round-faced Senya hasn't returned home too. But something did change. I could see how different the looks of my classmates were. They made my pockets bulge with gifted apples. Their animosity was gone. School wasn't scary anymore. But, most importantly, a shadow slid across my desk, leaving behind a mysterious note. I glanced into the space between rows, but the messenger was already nowhere to be found. Who sent me this note? What could this carefully ripped out and neatly folded piece of paper be hiding from me? More threats and humiliation? Or... I took the piece of paper and carefully inhaled the wafting aroma. Blackberry. I'll be waiting at the cul-de-sac near the dressing room. Come alone. Inside was a message in beautiful handwriting. I'm waiting at the dead end near the dressing room. Come alone. Definitely not the cul-de-sac. Drunk on that sudden call, I immediately started walking, looking over my shoulder from time to time, making sure nobody is following me. I didn't even notice how I almost broke into a run and almost jumped around the corner. As soon as I did that, I rammed into somebody inside the dark nook.
Ой!
Ow! Like a magic bird, a green notebook glided to my feet. Polina puffed her cheeks in an exaggerated anger.
Да ты совсем зрение потерял.
Petrov, have you lost your sight completely? Well, yes, if you see, my glasses are no longer have the lenses in them. I mean, what? I fixed my glasses. My nearsightedness wasn't that embarrassing anymore. I bent down and picked up the notebook.
Прости, я так торопился. Ты меня ждала? Что случилось?
Sorry, I was in a rush. Were you waiting for me? Did something happen? Polina studied me with her eyes and clicked her tongue.
А знаешь, на что ты похож, Антоша?
Do you know what you look like, Antosha?
На блюзовую импровизацию.
Like blues improv. I blinked in bewilderment.
Это как?
What do you mean?
Для меня все люди с чем-то ассоциируются.
I always associate people I know with something. I do that too. But why music? Excuse me while I drink water, because my throat is very dry. Did I save recently? Okay.
Вот как раз с музыкой.
It can't be anything other than music.
Бывают люди гитарные соло. Или барабанный бой. Или военный марш, как наша Лилия Павловна.
Some people are like guitar solos, some are drums. People, like our Lilia Pavlovna, are war marches.
А ты такой задумчивый, таинственный, иногда немного печальный.
And you're so thoughtful, so mysterious, sometimes even a bit sad.
Ты точно блюз.
You're definitely blues.
А почему импровизация?
And what about the improv part?
А это когда слушатель не догадывается, куда свернет мелодия, какой темп возьмет.
It's when the listener has no idea where the melody will go, what tempo it will adopt. Of course, some of the things Polina said went completely over my head. But I couldn't stop looking at her smile, like a breeze in May, and her eyes deep in blue.
Чтобы распознать в тебе музыку, нужен опыт и вкус.
One needs to have experience and taste to recognize the music in you.
Это не какая-то там эстрада.
You're not some pop music.
Я, наверное, вообще не знаю, что такое этот блюз.
I don't even think I even know what blues is. Polina gasped and frowned, which made her look even more beautiful.
Не произноси при мне такие слова. Я тебе обязательно дам кассету.
Don't say something like that to my face! I'll make sure to give you a cassette.
Раньше мне дедушка из города столько музыки привозил. И джаз, и свинг, и классику.
Grandpa used to bring me so much music from the city. Jazz, swing, classical too.
Это он подметил, что у меня склад ума, как у музыканта.
He was the one to notice my musical mindset.
Я еще совсем маленькой пыталась на бумаге записать звуки природы. Пение дождя, леса.
When I was still very little, I tried recording the sounds of nature on paper. The sounds of the rain and the forest.
Эх, мне бы твои уши.
I wish I had ears like yours.
А мне бы твои глаза.
And I'd love to have your eyes. You want to trade? I tensed up, worried that she was making fun of me, but Polina shook her head.
Да-да, я серьезно. У тебя глаза художника.
No, I'm serious. You have the eyes of an artist.
Смотришь на вещи и фиксируешь их. Я так не умею.
You're so good at picturing things. I can't do that. Katya walked past us with her trademark frosty glare. We dove into the shadows, trying to escape it.
Теперь понимаешь, почему мы тут прячемся?
You,
Вот из-за таких, как она.
you understand why we're hiding here, right? Because of people like her.
А Катька какая мелодия.
And what kind of melody is Katya? Polina flashed me a sly smile.
Скрип несмазанных дверных петель.
The squeaking sound of unoiled door hinges.
Знаешь, такой мерзкий дискант.
You know, this nasty descant. I giggled, covering my mouth. Katya didn't hear our whispers, but she suddenly glanced over her shoulder. Clearly annoyed. A moment later, she sighed and went her way. I remembered about the notebook. I was still clutching it in my hand. I turned it in my hands. Instead of a subject name, the front side had the name of the owner and 2 words. Friends only.
Любопытной Варваре кое-что оторвали.
Curiosity killed the cat, you know. The police officer told me that last week. I'm a very curious person. So, say what it is that you need to say now, because I'm obviously gonna die.
Прости, это анкета?
I'm sorry. Is this a questionnaire?
Заполнял когда-нибудь?
Have you ever filled one? Yeah, here and there. I'm pretty sure they sold my data, and that's why I'm getting so many scam emails and calls. But, I mean, I lied that I had. But I'm serious about these scam callers. In reality, girl classmates from my previous school had never asked me to fill their questionnaires. It was quite upsetting. I know the feeling. That's why I have no friends. I mean, it was a girl hobby. You just answer a set of standard questions about your favorite actors and colors, but entrusting someone with such a notebook was a sign of friendship. And maybe of something even more. Something I only had a vague idea about.
Хочешь, заполни мою?
You can fill in mine if you want. Oh, well. Do you have a pen? My heartbeat quickened.
Хочу, спасибо.
I do. Thank you. Do you have a pen?
Там же столько секретов.
Actually, there are so many secrets there.
Наверное, лучше тебе не знать, о чем мы, девочки, думаем.
You'd be better off not knowing what we girls think. She reached for the notebook, playing with me. I tossed my finding into my free hand. Polina tried to intercept my move. Her hair briefly touched my face, tickling my nose with its silky locks. I sensed an aroma that immediately filled the whole world. Fragrant, alluring, lively. If only I could picture it, steal it for myself. I felt dizzy, but I gathered myself and spoke in a voice reminiscent of Lieutenant Tikhonov.
Ваша анкета является важнейшей уликой, и я вынужден временно изъять ее для изучения.
Your questionnaire is an important piece of evidence, so I'm afraid that I have to confiscate it for further examination. Polina covered her mouth that rounded in fake horror.
И что мне грозит за сокрытие улик?
What are the implications of concealing evidence?
Следствие покажет.
We'll decide that in the course of our investigation.
Сдаюсь, товарищ милиционер.
I surrender, Mr. Policeman.
Только обещайте ничего не читать.
Just promise you won't read anything.
Здесь содержатся секретные сведения.
It's full of sensitive information.
Боюсь, что мне все-таки придется выяснить, не влюблен ли кто в гражданина Петрова.
I'm afraid I'll have to investigate whether someone is in love with Mr. Petrov. Pauline... Okay. I know it's a funny thought someone will be in love with me. Okay. Please, don't laugh in my face about it. I know I'm unlovable. Just, please, do not do that again. You hurt me with your words and your smiles. Okay. Polina burst out laughing and pressed herself against my chest, showering me with the aroma of her hair and her milky skin that looked almost transparent, with tiny threads of veins running under it. Her whisper was hot, like a piece of butter sizzling on a pan.
Тогда поклянитесь, что не станете разглашать информацию.
Then swear that you will keep this information private.
Честная милицейская.
I swear on my police badge.
А теперь, Антоша, самое время поторопиться.
And now we need to hurry, Antosha. Well, hurry home to read this notebook, I must. Oh, what? I took the notebook out during class. Why would I do that? With utmost care, as if it was some sort of fragile treasure. Skimmed through it, reading into other people's preferences. I was quite surprised to discover Romka's jerky handwriting inside. Wow. Yeah. He crossed out Sylvester Stallone for Arnold? Wow. Wait, you want to buy a BMW, but you wanted Mercedes? Well, I guess it. Wow, you like DuckTales. And I'm assuming your friend is Biasha. I'm assuming 3/15/87 is birthday. Don't trust, don't fret, don't ask. Well, let's see his name, what classroom he's in. I don't know what Shavutinsky is. I guess favorite month is February. What he likes doing, hanging out. So yeah, I guess Schwarzenegger's is... Well, have you seen Terminator, I guess? Gabriel Iglesias, his favorite, was also a Terminator. Okay, anyway. His letters bulged out of the cells, as if embarrassed by their shapelessness. Fearsome Romka found time for something so silly? I chuckled into my fist after I found out that Romka's favorite cartoon is not even Darkwing Duck, but DuckTales. Somewhere in the distance, a teacher was reciting pieces of Andreev's Snapper. I paid them no mind. Polina's page was decorated with flower drawings and clippings from the Cool Girl magazine. Franz Schubert. My birthday, I'm assuming, is the favorite thing. Listening, I guess listening to music. What they want to do, see the world. Robert Schumann, I do not know. Losing the people I love, I guess that's your biggest fear. Yeah, grandpa. I don't know what this. Her favorite musician is Schubert. Her best friend is her grandpa. Her hobby is not violin, like I expected, but a much more mysterious listening. Can such a mundane process really be someone's hobby? I looked at Polina over the heads of other students. She was focused on taking notes. I flipped the page until I found a blank one and armed myself with a pen. Anton Petrov, Class 6B. I took a long time to decide on my favorite musician until a trendy pop band, Carman, came to mind, with the cool dancers in their music videos. Carman, a Soviet and Russian technopop band most popular for their late 80s to early 90s. Found by Bogdan Titomir and Sergei Lemok, it is mostly remembered for unique dancing performances and for writing a music theme for the Captain Cronin cartoon. Oh. Okay. Favorite holiday? This one's easy. New Year's. My hobby is drawing. My dream? Going to Disneyland, I guess. My hero? My hand moved on its own, writing D.A. I stopped on those two letters. What if those who read this after me will find my answer laughable and stupid? After thinking for a bit, I decided that not everything should be disclosed on paper. That's how Da turned into Spider-Man. The spelling was wrong, but who cares? Your biggest fear, huh? I immediately wrote, losing a person who's dear to me. Your phone number. Oh, that's what that is. No secret here. 30395. I thought that was a date for some reason. Your favorite cartoon? Transformers. Your best friend? I hesitated, gnawing on the pen's cap. I remembered Elisa, gliding behind the trees, laughing enthusiastically from the shadows. I hadn't seen her in a week, and it even made me worried. After all, she was the one who stopped the colossus of a monster that wanders the forest in the night from tearing me to bits. I mentioned a masked girl to Romka and Biash before, but they gave me weird looks. I wonder what she's up to right now. Your best friend. I read the question out loud. It was easy, but at the same time, very important. My answer consisted of 3 letters, and I filled them in the cells with care. You. You, I repeated when running out of the school. Refreshing frosty air made my cheeks turn beet red. It was bright outside, and the sun looked like a whole egg yolk. The road looked as if it was silvered. The snow sparkled under the sunlight. I smiled, squinting from the blinding whiteness. There was also something magical in my chest that beckoned me. Because friendship can grow into something bigger.
Толстый улыбится.
What's with the happy face, Tosha? I swallowed my smile and turned red.
Да так, анекдот вспомнил.
I just remembered a joke. Biyasha was shuffling in his feet in the middle of the yard, his boots restless on the ice.
Ну, делись тогда на.
Share it with me, eh? I rummaged through my memory and blurted out a random joke I'd heard today in the
Кощей
cafeteria.
вышел на крыльцо почесать себе сундук, зайца, утку и яйцо.
Why did the chewing gum cross the road? It was stuck to the chicken's foot.
Ясно, Петросян.
See, Petrosyan. How about this for a joke? I don't want to say it. I won't say it. Not yet. A Soviet and Russian stand-up comic, colloquially, I can't speak, known as the king of humorous remakes and dad jokes. That's what I was about to say. I was about to say a dad joke. I am not a dad, nor am I a mom. I have no kids. I have no one to love. So, I'm gonna run out of water pretty soon. Do I have a dad joke I could say? I could probably come up with one right away. There's one that came to my mind not too long ago, but I could be completely wrong about it. You know what? I'll probably just think about it. I'll come up with a dad joke. It'll be so bad. I also don't want to say it, but yeah, we all cringe every now and then, right? Okay. What did the buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bison. Yeah, so no, go repeat that joke to your friends and have them cringe or laugh or slap you.
Ну, идем на.
Let's go, eh? He walked towards the school's corner without waiting for me. I hesitantly tagged along. Where are we going?
Идем на.
You'll see, eh?
Мы теперь в одной связке и действуем заодно.
We're now in one pack, so we move together.
Помощь твоя нужна в кое-каком дельце.
You need to help us with small business. I felt chills run all over my body. I didn't like the sound of that. Small business. Those words accompanied by spitting, normally hid very dark deeds underneath them. Strangers that they used to call our old apartment used to say, "Get your old man, we have a small business to discuss." Biyasha turned around. He looked like an astronaut in his tight hood. If I were to imagine him as a sound, he'd be a deafening whistle, a signal given by someone who stands watch. My knees started shaking as soon as I thought that I was about to be dragged into something shady. Images flashed before my eyes. Tikhonav's strict gaze as he shuts the prison cell door on me. My father hitting the bars in anger. Mom and Olia crying nearby. To my demise, there was nobody at the backyard. Apart from the grim-faced Romka. He stood there, his feet wide apart, with his right hand hidden behind his back. He must be holding a knife. The steel butterfly of death that flies toward a person's heartbeat. Romka's dry lips were tightly pursed. He kept shooting glances at me as he looked around. What's going on? Romka read and announced my
Что
thoughts.
происходит?
What's going on?
Ничего, проветриваемся на.
Nothing much. We're out for a walk, eh? Biyasha's voice sounded nasty, snarky.
Проветривайся в другом месте.
Walk some other way.
А мне и здесь нормально. Да, куколка?
We like it here, right, baby? Baby? Is he talking to me? I was so bewildered I wasn't able to squeeze out a single sound in reply. I just watched the bizarre scene played out in front of me by my new problematic friends.
Видишь? Ты ее напугал!
Look, you scared her.
А тебе какая забота, говнюк? Вали, пока цел на.
What do you care, shithead? Fuck off while you still can, eh? I was trying to digest what I just heard. Did Biasha really call Romka a shithead? Is he out of his mind?
Пацаны,
Guys? Ha! Biasha ignored my weak protest and stepped toward Romka. Swung at him in a weird, comical manner. Romka blocked the punch with his free hand, keeping his right hand behind his back. Even actors in Indian films that my mom loves fight more convincingly. Biasha started weeping, even though I hadn't seen Romka hitting him.
Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй, больно как! У меня сотрясение мозга!
Ow, 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 it hurts. I have a concussion now. Hello. Roma kicked him in the knee, and Biasha fell to the ground, sighing and moaning. He sounds like Peter Griffin. And I stared at the approaching Romka without blinking. His elbow was twitching and his hand crawled from behind his back. I grew roots into the asphalt. A blade will shine in front of me. Here it comes. Romka yanked his hand from behind his back. My teeth chattered from fear. Oh, for fuck. A bouquet of snowdrops that appeared out of nowhere in this freezing weather swayed in front of my face. What's this? Flowers?
Позволь проводить тебя.
Let me escort you. I am afraid of what you're
А
trying
то,
to...
сама знаешь, шастают тут всякие
You know.
маньяки.
You know, there are all sorts of creeps snooping around here. What is going on?
Ну а чё она? Бедным маньякам уже и посасать нельзя!
What's wrong with innocent creeps doing a bit of snooping about, eh?
Хреновый из тебя маньяк, Бяшка. Даже Тоха не повелся.
You make for a shitty creep, Biasha. Even Toha here was not phased.
А она нас в 2 счета раскусит.
She'll definitely see through her act. Am I the she in this? A knife made of flowers is what I'll call that. Am I the she they're referring to? Words finally returned to
она?
me.
Кто она?
Okay.
Что тут творится?
They asked my question for me. She. Who is she? What's going on here? Romka snorted, blowing snowflakes off the flowers. The flowery knives.
Да, маленькая репетиция, братан.
A small rehearsal, bro.
Хотели на твою реакцию посмотреть.
Wanted to see your reaction. Reaction for what? Hey, I'm freaked out. We just became friends and now you're offering me flowers? Biasha stood up and brushed himself off.
Да Ромыч в тёлку одну втюрился.
Romka here is a head over heels for a chick. Is that so?
Цветы нарыл на.
Even dug up these flowers from somewhere, eh?
Пасть заткни!
Shut your trap.
Я так, планируем подкатить слегка.
I'm just planning a little pickup.
Разыграть представление, а то она неприступная, мать ее за ногу.
Like staging a performance for her. She's so damn approachable. Unapproachable, you see? Yeah, she's so damn approachable that I need to make up a whole fake performance in order to talk to her. As one does. As I did in my high school. I did not do that. I was always too scared to speak to anyone.
Типа гуляет девочка себе, а к ней докапывается такое вот говно.
She'll be just walking outside and then a shithead like him starts bothering her. Biasha grumbled, upset.
Сам ты говно!
I'm not a shithead.
Ну и я такой ее раз и спасаю.
And here's where I come in and bam! Save her.
Но чё-то Бяш совсем бездарный актер.
But Biasha turned out to be a shit actor.
Давай-ка ты маньяком будешь.
How about you become the creep? Well, now listen, now just because I have many years of practice doesn't mean that I mean, why do you need me to be the creep?
Я?
Me? You even know if I can act?
Ну а чё?
Yeah, you.
Как по телеку показывали, маньяки вообще всегда тихие, скромные люди.
I saw it on TV. Serial killers are always these silent, shy types. Well, if you get her, and you play it out as you beating me up, is it not gonna look weird from her perspective that you're still hanging out with me after that? Or am I thinking too much into this?
Вот прям как ты.
Just like you.
А благодаря Катькиным сплетням все в школе думают, что именно ты бабурину кокнул.
And thanks to Katya's gossip, the whole school thinks you were the one to off Baburin. Well, now, let's not rule anything out. Maybe I am. But at the same time, my question still stands. Is she not gonna find it weird that you're still hanging out with me after you beat me up, calling me a creep or a murderer? Or all of the above? Oh, I don't know what's going on either, because obviously it's episode 3, but this whole side romance is honestly, it just came out of nowhere. I'm supposed to like discover what happened to like a few missing kids that disappeared. So this just came out of nowhere. Maybe it is a strange sense of humor. I'm not sure.
Давай, соглашайся, Тох.
Honestly, with some of the things that are being said, that probably is part of it. Twisted? Maybe. Honestly, maybe, but we'll see. Come on, Toha. I felt relieved. Nothing criminal. Just a scene for a girl.
Что делать-то надо?
What do I need to do? Act badly? Get hit?
Ты же видел Бяшино кривляние?
You saw Biash's antics, no?
Тип, идешь ко мне, борзый такой, можешь разок в печень заехать?
You come at me all brave. You can't even punch me in the stomach. Well, let me back it up a bit. You were there when I punched Baburin in the face. I stood my ground against him as I punched him multiple times. You want my punch to meet your stomach? You will probably bend over, unable to breathe, or you will be launched a billion miles away from my falcon punch. But if that's what you want,
Тип, херак, и в сугроб.
and I'm like, ha! And you fly into the snow pile. Also, I'm the one that's gonna be flying. Again, I'm so confused. How do we start fighting and then later on we're still gonna be friends?
Ну, давайте попробуем.
Why am I agreeing to this? Well, let's give it a try. Roma livened up.
Отлично.
Nice. Are you gonna hide those flowers behind your back the entire time? Like... The thing is, they never brought up, like, this is the first time he's bringing up that he likes a girl. It's brought up that I like someone, but not for him. If I find out that you like the same girl I like, I'm punching you for real, and you're gonna kiss the ground at my feet.
Бяша, меняешь пол. Ты теперь тёлочка.
Biasha, change of plans. You're a little girly now.
Гуляй.
Okay. Why? Okay. The music in this is also... Let's not retract from the fact that this is a horror game. I gotta remember that before I completely get thrown off by some random jump scare that ends up happening a few scenes up ahead, I'm pretty sure. Walk. Biasha started dragging his feet along the schoolyard, grimacing.
Я тёлочка красивая, тёлочка, я гуляю, ла-ла-ла.
I love the voice acting in this. I really do. I'm not gonna follow that voice. I'm a girly, a pretty girly. I'm on a walk.
Тоха, действуй.
Your move, Toha. I went toward Romka, fighting an urge to smile. He hid his hand again and put on a stern expression. A 5-star actor.
Она моя!
She's mine.
Рискни.
Let me see you try. Well, it's probably horrifying the way he just... Yeah. I guess that is the horror part in this right now. I thought I was supposed to punch him in the stomach. I just straight up punched him in the face. Okay. I punched him so hard he went off screen. And I tried. Threw a punch in the direction of my friend. My knuckles barely grazed his leather coat, and Romka suddenly fell. Not from my laughable poke, but of course, because he slipped on ice. Yeah, he slipped on ice. See, that's definitely what happened. He slipped on ice. Though my beating red knuckles didn't knock him out of to next week. literally plopped on his back with his full weight without a chance to get his hand out of the way. Petals from the squash flowers were left on the snow. Oh, now I feel bad. I ruined his bouquet. I rushed to help. Well, he's dead. Oh, he just woke up.
Ой, бля! Да погоди ты, не дергай!
Fuck, wait, don't pull.
Не сломал?
Did you break anything? Did I break anything? Oh, I'm asking him if he broke anything. Roma was carefully working his wrist.
Да не, ушиб вроде.
Nah, probably just a bruise.
Приложить нужно на.
You should put some ice against it. Well, he's on snow. Technically, he's already got it on ice, if he's actually still on it. I broke his pride. I broke his wrist. Maybe I did break his pride. I don't know. Maybe.
Тебя, мудака, приложить нужно.
I'd rather put your moronic head against the wall. My moronic head, Biasha's moronic head, or your own moronic head. This is what you wanted to rehearse for some reason. I just wanted to go home and peek through this girl's notebook
Об стенку башкой.
and smack it as hard as I can. Are you talking to me still? Romka was already laughing as he got up and gathered the flowers.
Да, если я так при подруге навернусь, можно будет про нее забыть.
Well, if I go flying in front of that chick, I might as well forget about her. But again, this is practice. You didn't need to.
Давай еще раз отрепетируем.
Let's give it another go. Yeah, I want to punch you in the face again. Roma shook his head.
Вечером, как рука пройдет.
In the evening, when my hand gets better.
Не хочу опозориться перед первой скрипкой школы.
I don't want to fuck up in front of the school's first violin. Alright. I stumbled mid-word. It is true. The girl I like is the one you like. How about we practice now? There, I'm cracking my knuckles. Bring your face closer here. I'm gonna show you who exactly is the man for her. A switch flipped in my head. It all made sense now. I remembered Gromka constantly sneaking glances at Polina. I remembered his scrawly handwriting in the questionnaire. Why didn't I study it more in depth? I felt like somebody hit me over the head with a giant hammer, making me sink into the ground, as if I was some sort of cartoon. Polina. She was the main character of this play, directed by Romka. I got a notification, my bad. Okay, and I landed the role of the third wheel, as I do in real life as well. I'm always invited, but I'm never the one to interact. I mumbled hesitantly.
Договорились.
Alright. I won't hold back when you do this again. Just so you know. You already said if you go flying, you can forget about her. So all I need to do is just make you go flying. I'll make you see the space and the stars.
Вот это я понимаю, команда Вольтрона.
Now that's what I'm talking about, just like Voltron's team. And just like Voltron, I'm gonna send you through the ether.
Один за всех.
One for all. I do not like where this is going.
Все на одного!
And all on one? What?
Захлопни.
Shut it.
Если вдруг тебе понадобится помощь, Антоха, можешь рассчитывать на меня.
If you ever need help, Antoha, you can count on me. You can start by getting my name right. You've all said it in multiple different ways. Also, do I trust a friend or do I follow my heart? You weren't my friend at first. She has remained in my heart. So, we'll see what the future holds. If you're the next on my hit list, then you, well, I mean, if you're the next on the whatever murderer is making these people go missing, we'll see then.
Бывай.
Thank you for flipping around. See ya.
Вечером мы к тебе заглянем.
We'll visit you in the evening. Do you know where I live? Oh yeah, you do. This game was brought to you by. The funny thing is that earlier, Romka was wearing an Adidas outfit as well. It was called Abibas. Abidas. So, and obviously the North fake, but obviously it has to be changed. But yeah, the aftertaste of horrible water I drank down my meds with lingered in my mouth. My thoughts were focused on Polina. But the play where I was assigned the role of a villain was also on my mind.
Да, ага.
I wandered around the house, feeling intoxicated. I nodded to everything my sister said without trying to discern her words.
Они там поделки лепили и делали все
Да,
своими
да.
руками.
Olia was talking non-stop,
Природные
at times lifting up her arms and laughing,
материалы там.
only to then suddenly go quiet and give me mom's signature gnarly look.
А,
I was yanked out of the prison of my own mind, where seething thoughts pecked at my brain like harpies, stopping me from coming back to reality. Oh, it did look unaltered, but yeah, it was the North fake. So the C was changed to a K, unless it wasn't. I'll have to look back and see, but I remember reading the North fake. I stared back. Olia looked like a mini version of our mom right now. Well, to be precise, she looked like the person Mom turned into when we moved here. With her intimidating posture and her eyebrows directed toward the ceiling.
Ты меня не слушал, так?
You weren't listening to me, were you? She tried spitting out those words at me, copying facial expressions of the person she spent almost all her free time with. For a moment, I felt like the light Olia exuded all these years waned and wavered in the wind of prolonged changes. Very soon, my beautiful princess will turn into the dragon that was guarding her prison tower. The thought was much scarier to me than any other horror sneaking up to me from the future.
Оля, прости,
Sorry, Olia.
ты же не сердишься, правда?
I don't want to make you mad.
Просто задумался.
I just got lost in thought. I looked around the room, my gaze jumping from one object to another like a hungry beast, trying to find anything that could distract Olia.
А давай в приставку поиграем.
Let's play the console! Olia pouted, but there was a spark of interest in her small emerald eyes. The Snow Queen's ice shard inside them started thawing.
А как же второй джойстик? Не работает же.
And what about the second controller? It's not working. The joystick is destroyed.
А папе починить некогда.
And Dad has no time to fix it. He's too busy filing a divorce with Mom.
Можем из пистолета пострелять.
We can play with the light gun.
Ковбоев или уток, хочешь?
What do you want to play? Cowboys? Ducks?
Ты лучше меня играешь.
You're better than me at both. I'm gonna do something, just because I'm a pro gamer doesn't mean you can't have fun with me, okay? If you want, I'll give you the advantage. 5 rounds ahead, but just know I'm gonna catch up in the next 15.
Да ладно тебе.
Oh, come on.
Целый день тренировалась, пока меня дома не было.
You must have been practicing the whole time I was away from home. Olia burst out laughing. Her heart was warm once again.
А как ты догадался?
How did you know? Well, the fact that the only time I see you here, you're either eating cookies or something else, so obviously you must be doing something while I'm not here.
Я сейчас знаешь, какая меткая. Считай, уже проиграл.
But I'm a good shooter now. You've already lost. So are you saying that you're the one that made
Не
it?
на того напала. Включай скорее.
You picked the wrong fight here. Come on, turn it on. Please tell me I don't have to choose between winning and losing. Little Olia jumped toward the TV set and after flicking the power switch, started blindly feeling around the backside of the photon. Trying to plug the console's cables into the antenna input. It's Bruce Lee. Bits of the TV show started flashing on the CRT screen. It's Home Alone. When I armed myself with the remote to look for the channel with the sought-after Dendy signal.
Что дома интересного происходило?
Did anything interesting happen at home? It was a mundane question for me. I didn't put any actual meaning behind it. But Olia's expression suddenly changed. She lost all of the childish nonchalantness she worked so hard to acquire before.
Оль, что-то случилось?
What happened, Olia? My sister managed to put the cable in its place and started brushing off her dust-covered hand. She was clearly looking for the courage to continue the conversation.
Мама.
Mom, she... Olia went silent, and for a moment, I thought I saw tears welling up in her eyes.
У нее опять был этот страшный...
She had this scary thing happen to her again. My sister looked at me with wet eyes.
Приступ.
She had a fit, huh? Does that happen before, but it was a rare occasion? Now that we'd moved to this godforsaken place, Mom's fits rose in frequency.
Папа принес большую рыбу.
Dad brought home a big fish. That was a fish. It's still alive. It's a tuna. Weaponoid Post 7.
Она в газету была завернута и пахла так...
It was wrapped in a newspaper, and it had a foul smell.
А мама опять начала злиться.
Mom
Взяла нож.
got angry again. And then she took a knife. Olia squirmed, looking fearfully out of the window.
Они начали громко ругаться.
They started screaming at each other. Am I supposed to see the bunny here? It's like the eye here. This is like the cheek, some whiskers, the ear. Is that intentional, or am I just making stuff out of nothing? I froze, imagining my little sister so small and unnoticeable, standing in the kitchen doorway. She wasn't even trying to hide. Our parents just paid her no mind at all. I thought it was a bunny, but it could just be just the outside window and there's a light there. To me, I saw a bunny.
Потом мама ударила.
And then, Mom struck it. Like this. Olia slightly moved her fist downward, imitating a strike.
Рыбу.
She hit the fish.
Она была живая тоже. Ей было больно. А мама...
It was still alive, Tosha. It must have been in pain. And Mom... It was easy to imagine what happened next. The writhing fish with the blade between its fins squirted some foul-smelling musk into Mom's face. Whenever death got this close to my mom, be it when a person was hit by a bus in front of us and their blood was smeared all over the windshield, or when Grandma chopped off a chicken's head, Mom would always get into a weird, dreadful fit. I assumed they were gonna eat it, but from everything I remember, the parents are not having a good relationship. And apparently the mom has these fits when anything dies near her. So her eyes would roll over. She would fall on her face like a freshly cut tree and started writhing just like that agonizing fish, turning over chairs and blurting out bits of scary sentences.
Он ей помог?
I should have noticed there would have been a warning for flashing lights. Wow. And what about Dad? Did he help her? Olia shuddered as if just remembering it pained her.
Но вначале...
Yes, but at first... Skin cells well, but you don't see the skin cells dying is what I'm saying.
Он засмеялся тоже.
He started laughing, Tosha.
Когда увидел, что маме плохо.
He let out an evil laugh when he saw that Mom was in trouble.
А потом вдруг заплакал.
But then, he cried. Olia's story made me raise an eyebrow. It seemed like the forest's oozing madness had not only completely consumed our mom, but also infected our strong and courageous dad. I quickly stepped toward Olia and locked her in a tight embrace. She dug her face into my chest, and I could feel my shirt becoming wet.
Зачем они так издеваются друг над другом тоже?
Why are they bullying each other, Tosha?
Они сумасшедшие.
Are they crazy? I stuttered, unable to justify the actions of our parents. I had ran out of words, and all I could do was hug Olia even tighter. Like I said, it's a horror game. I was about to say, see, this looks like a bunny right here. And having this jump scare come out of nowhere stopped everything. Okay, but yes, To me, this looks like it's a bunny. It could be pareidolia. I'm making stuff out of nothing, but I see an eye here. This is like an ear. This is a cheek here, and this is the body. That's what I see. Olia screamed and hid behind me. The console decided to give us all a jump scare. Turn it off, quick. It's like a FNAF game, pretty much. No matter how many times she saw this intro, she would always react the same. Just like when she saw that owl. I mean, I also got goosebumps every time this ghastly face appeared on the screen, so I immediately complied with my sister's request. A ghastly face? What do you mean? I'm assuming... I did actually. Was Dendy one of them? I completely skipped Dendy. An 8-bit gaming console that circulated in the CIS region in the 90s. It was an unofficial third-generation Famicom or NES clone. Neither Famicom nor NES were ever licensed for the Russian market, so Dendy was the only popular alternative for 8-bit gaming during the time period. VID, a TV company logo depicting a ceramic head of the Chinese philosopher Guo Xiang with a 3-legged toad on top of his head. It instilled horror in the whole generation of the 90s kids in Russia. Really. It reminds me of like some other... I believe it was Germany. Germany had these cartoons for... I believe it was either coffee or an energy drink. Okay, so pretty much if you ever seen like... Oh, the ghost car, and there's like a car driving down like a hill in like grassy plains and it disappears behind trees. And then a jump scare happens. I believe it was Germany that did all those cartoons. Those were actually advertising an energy... It was either an energy drink or coffee. It was one of those two. There was more than one. It's just that Ghost Car one is the popular one. So it reminds me of that. So I don't know what producers were on that they were like, we should scare kids into buying our products. But that honestly, y'all cause nightmares. Let's play this game. Let's play the game in the game. 9999. Okay, finally, the game selection screen showed up from the cartridge that was bundled with the console. Too bad, most of the names here were just different levels of the same game. I picked up the gray rectangular controller and started looking around the pixel letters to find the familiar English word for duck. I believe that company did get sued for all the horror, but I'm pretty sure if they did, that lawsuit was probably also thrown out. I could be completely wrong. I just know that I'm pretty sure it was a German company that did it. I'll probably find it later, but yeah, that's I don't know what type of fear tactic that is that, you know, that's gonna happen. Okay, Olia, coming staring at me in the face like that. Background music from the menu soothed Olia's mind, and she asked in a calm voice,
Твои дела в школе?
how are things at school? Oh, you know, I've gained respect after murdering a classmate, and now I have friends, and it seems I have competition for my love of my life. I mean, what?
Да вот, завел пару друзей, наверное.
I made a couple of friends, I guess. I've been friends with them for like a week. Why am I answering this now?
Ого, целых 2. Везет.
Wow, a whole 2 of them. Lucky. Are you making fun of me that I could only make 2 friends? Or are you surprised that I made 2 friends and it's a good thing? Also, I said a couple. Where did you get 2 from? Are you following me in school?
А ты говоришь, лисичку видела?
Right. Didn't you say you saw a fox?
Ага, ее зовут Алиса.
Yeah, her name is Alisa. I immediately felt uneasy when my new acquaintance was mentioned.
Откуда ты знаешь? Она так сказала.
How did you know? Did she tell you?
Да, когда с мамой мусор ходили выбрасывать. А еще говорила, что спасла тебя.
Yes, when Mom and I were throwing out garbage. She also said that she saved you.
Спасла?
Saved me? I remembered my fight with the delinquents in the forest, and that mysterious whisper from the thicket. It's a girl with she wears a fox mask. Her name's Alisa. I remembered the fleeing Simeon and the horned giant towering above me with its outstretched hand. All that time, I could feel Elisa's unseen presence, as if she was watching me from behind the crooked trees. A smile stuck to her ginger mask. I shuddered, chasing away this
А
delusion.
еще она что-нибудь говорила?
Did she say anything else? Nuh-uh.
Мама так быстро вернулась. Я ее хотела с лисичкой познакомить, а та уже убежала.
Mom came back so fast, I wanted to introduce them, but the foxes already ran off.
Ее не боишься?
Aren't you afraid of her?
А почему я должна бояться? Алиса добрая, такая пушистая и красивая.
Why would I? Elisa is kind. She's so fluffy and pretty.
Не то что сова.
Unlike that owl. I plugged the light gun into the second controller port, listening to my sister's laugh.
Тюря первая!
I go first! Am I watching the whole duck hunt thing? Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Alright. Is it my turn? Wait, am I actually playing? Wait, I was unaware! Wait, what happened? Wait, what I don't even know what I just did. I just pressed A. Can I move like... Okay, what is going on? How do I move the gun? How do I move this gun? Let me press A again. Okay.
Ну-ка, от винта!
I did not know how to move the gun. I failed, but okay. Let's get dangerous. How do I play this? Is that gun not too big for you? Wait, how do I move this gun? No, I don't want to turn it off. Yeah, I don't know how to move the gun. How do I play this? I could click to shoot, but I'm obviously not... Am I aiming with the mouse? Am I too dumb to figure this out? No, the mouse disappears. Alright, this is me being bad at games. I got one!
Кто на новенького?
I got one. Okay, so I'm assuming I do aim with the mouse, but it disappears for me. Okay, I'll keep a mental image of where my mouse is. I got one. I'm doing it blind. How'd I shoot one before? Okay, this is the epitome of what everyone watches.
Ой, умирает зайчик мой! Ты проиграл, Тоша!
Well, I made my sister happy, so I guess that's what matters more than my horrible gameplay. I only killed like 2. Bang, bang, and they're dead. You've lost, Tosha.
Антон! Антон!
My mom only managed to get through to me on her 3rd attempt.
Антон, тебя к телефону.
Anton, there's a call for you.
Девушка какая-то.
It's a girl. I sobered up in an instant and rushed to the hallway. Oh, I didn't give her my number. I still have her notebook. But she must have asked around. It is an exact replica, but I assume that's what they had at the time. If apparently they couldn't, Famicom and obviously they couldn't license it to Russia. I'm out of water. I am sad.
Не споткнись, смотри.
Watch your step. I grabbed the phone, pressed it to my chest, looking at my mom. She shrugged and went into the room, gathering the toys thrown around by Olia as she went.
Алло?
I didn't expect that to be in English. Hello?
У твоей мамы такой молодой голос.
Your mom has such a young voice.
А, ну да. Она сама молодая.
Well, yeah, I mean, she is young.
Не мешаю?
Are you busy right now?
Нет, что ты.
No, of course not. I have all the time in the world for you. If only she knew how costly this conversation could be for me. What risk I took on just answering this call. There was a pen and a shabby notepad lying on the nightstand. I picked them up and started moving the tip of the pen across the paper, producing chaotic doodles that always ended up in turning into hearts.
Я прочла твои ответы.
I've read your answers. I gave you your notebook back?
А тебе действительно Кармен нравится?
Do you really like Carmen?
Мне, если по правде, русский рок больше нравится.
I like Russian rock more, to be
Но я
honest.
почему-то постеснялся это написать.
But I was too embarrassed to put it there for some reason.
А хочешь, Антоша, и я честной буду?
And do you want me to be honest with you too, Antosha?
Конечно.
Of course. My pen drew an outline of a girl's face, her eyes, her long eyelashes. Paulina spoke in a hushed voice, probably to keep her grandpa from hearing.
Ужасно тоскливо.
I'm bored to death here.
Дома?
At home?
В поселке.
In the village.
Здесь никогда ничего не происходит. А если происходит, то всякая гадость.
There's nothing going on here. And if there is, it's always something nasty.
Даже не в пропавших детях.
And it's not even about the missing kids.
Mузыки мало.
There's almost no music here.
Но у тебя же кассеты есть.
Don't you have your cassettes? I must be a really good artist that I drew this in the middle of a phone call. It is FNAF. What is it supposed to be the phone guy?
Я не про записи.
I'm not talking about audio
Я
records.
про
I mean,
голос этого места.
this place's voice.
Он не мелодичный. Все шуршит, как патефонная игла, скрипит, воет изредка.
It's not melodic at all. It's rustling like a record player needle. It just squeaks and moans from time to time.
Тут неуютно. Тесно очень.
It feels uncomfortable,
Не
suffocating.
знаю, как объяснить тебе.
I don't know how else to explain this. I'm drawing all this stuff. Like, what if my parents needed this notebook for something? Like, here I'm wasting paper on my doodles that obviously are way too good to be just left in doodles. The missing kids. Well, we'll see more. There's a bunny. There's a fox as well. So,
Кажется, я тебя понимаю.
I think I know what you
Моя
mean.
сестренка говорит, что чувствует себя заточенной в темницу.
My little sister says she feels like a prisoner here.
Вот и я.
I even shaded it in.
Очень люблю дедушку. И бросить его боюсь.
Me too. But I love Grandpa. I don't want to abandon him.
Порой так хочется убежать. Далеко-далеко.
Sometimes I just want to escape so badly. Somewhere very far away. Into the forest, I thought half-heartedly. To run under the falling snowflakes that make your fur white and the branches that hide you from prying eyes.
Я, когда рисую, будто путешествую.
When I draw, I feel like I'm transported to another place. I completely forgot I put drawing as a hobby in this, so I guess now it makes sense that I'm drawing all this stuff.
Со скрипкой.
It's the same for me and the violin. Why am I now drawing a butterfly knife? I cannot have said butterfly knife any more weirder, but why am I drawing a butterfly knife now? I ran up the bow straight to the sky. I realized I was drawing a butterfly knife and crossed it out. Thinking of Romka ruined my mood. Should I tell her? Should I warn her about his plans to seduce her? I could throw a wrench into those plans. But what about our Voltron team? They may not be my best friends, but we're still buddies. Who would I become if I betrayed them? Ugh! Why you make me decide? Ugh. I'm gonna save for that, just for this thing. Okay. Let me think about this. Then I think about why I did not draw I did not draw Voltron at all. So, do I confess it to the love of my life, or do I keep my mouth shut? Honestly, keeping my mouth shut would probably be the smartest thing to do, just because I already have been threatened by him when a cop was in the presence. But my heart speaks out to me. Then maybe I should go and tell her. But at the same time, it's like He already went flying once. It's Russia. It's the Russian winter. Snow and ice are probably very common. He'll probably go flying again, and he would not want that to happen again. But at the same time, I could be completely wrong in thinking that Romka likes Polina, because I'm pretty sure there's more than one girl that plays the violin. And I'm probably worrying over nothing. For this route, I'm gonna stick with Romka's decision. Yes, Romka did act horrible from time to time. He was unfair towards others and manipulated the weak. But something told me that friendship wasn't just a word to him. Magma is coursing through your veins. You desire infinite fusion. Okay, team. I want to tell her, but I believe it was either episode 1 or 2. It was probably episode 2. I had the decision to either go into the forest with Elisa or stay behind and be with Polina. So I probably already, since I went with Elisa the last episode, if there's a route where I date her, I'm probably not going to get her because he probably thinks I'm uninterested in her now. And I'm just feeding into it more the more I go on this. Anyway, well, this is just a game. I could go back and rewrite it later. Even though they were as monstrous as the ancient forest scenery outside my window, I lifted my glasses, rubbed my eyes.
Поскорей бы уже повзрослеть.
Wish I could grow up faster.
Думаешь, будет проще?
Do you think it'll make life easier? No, it'll get harder. We are 9. Oh, it's not 9. I don't like that this music's playing in the background right now. But no, our shoes light up. We don't gotta pay rent. We don't gotta pay anything as kids. So I do not know what this kid is on about, saying that he wants to grow up. I guess to leave this place, but at the same time, like, can you really withstand the extra responsibilities? I don't even like being an adult. Sure, there are good things, but I mean, adulting is kind of a trap. Working your life away, everything revolves around money. It's just like, granted, yes, if you're successful, you will have to worry about that, but that's a whole nother story. The doorbell rang before I could reply. My wandering gaze stumbled upon the door. Romka and Biasha came to pick me up for the rehearsal, and I was supposed to help them lure away the girl I
Полин,
liked.
подожди минутку.
Polina, wait a minute. I made a couple of steps toward and pressed myself into the door. The light bulb hanging on the outside illuminated the porch, and I could discern 2 short silhouettes through the frozen peephole. Look what the cat dragged in.
Подождите, я сейчас!
Please wait, I'll be out in a moment. I returned to the phone and picked up the handset.
Мне надо бежать.
I need to run.
Мне тоже.
Me too.
Спасибо, что выслушал.
Thanks for lending an ear. I'll lend more than an ear. I'll lend you my heart and my soul. Just, you gotta wait. My ear vibrated from the buzzing word sounds. I lowered the handset on the phone and snuck a peek at the staircase. My mom, engrossed in her favorite TV show, didn't hear the ringer. I put on my shoes and hat without warning anyone and slipped into the dark winter evening. I blinked, getting used to the twilight. The wind plucked at my cheeks. It carried the cold, resinous smell of coniferous trees from the forest. Freezing air crackled somewhere in the field. 2 shadows loomed in front of the gate. I could only recognize them as my classmates because of their height. I walked toward the fence, listening to the howling wind and the squeaking snow. One of the figures moved slowly, glided toward the thicket of the ice skater. I slowed down and touched my glasses, trying in vain to adjust my vision to the surrounding darkness. Worry landed on my shoulders like a weightless snowflake. A snake woke up in my belly and started writhing. I felt nauseous. I thought about home, the flimsy fortress behind my back. Mom and Olio were sitting on the second floor of the warm house in front of the TV, watching the adventures of characters in Santa Barbara. I really didn't want to be part of Romka's plan. And what I wanted even less was going there, to the place where a double shadow was wavering in the wind.
Что застрял-на?
Why so slow, eh?
Мы тут замерзли совсем.
We're freezing here. Biasha's voice was trembling and the restless Romka was letting out clouds of steam. He looked deep in thought and in
Ты
love.
почти продрогли-на.
We're freezing to the bone, eh?
Шевелись!
Move it!
Да иду.
I'm going. I heaved a deep sigh and walked forward, kicking snow piles. Biasha froze in place, facing the taiga. He was a hand's reach away, and I put my numb wrist on his shoulder. For some reason. Probably to make sure it wasn't a dream. I forget it's a horror game every now and then. A pointy beak was directed at me, strewn with feathers that formed an owl face. Something wearing a bird mask was staring at me.
До самых косточек.
Hoot hoot to the bone. The voice sounded exactly like Biasha's, but there was somebody else behind the feathers and the cardboard. I sprinted away as if someone whipped me. The masked creature only pretended to be Biasha. They wanted to lure me out. I was running like crazy, drowning in snow. The house in front of me was rapidly growing. The yellow light in its windows granted me hope. My mom and my sister are there. My salvation. I couldn't hear anything from behind me as if nobody was chasing me. Maybe it's because the owls can fly. I was already climbing the porch when I noticed another figure. From the soot black shadow of my house, a scruffy wolf cub crawled out and stood in my way. Yeah, as I said, it's a horror game. Its movements were jerky, chaotic as if it was performing some terrifying dance. Or convulsing during a stroke. And even though I could clearly see that the wolf face was a mask, something in his werewolf's convulsions made me freeze in place. The boy in a wolf's costume rubbed his side against the porch post and fell to his knees. He bent his back so hard that I expected his spine to crack. The beast's thighs shone, but he didn't attack. He kept crawling around and running on all fours. I shifted my feet, my mouth agape, trying to keep him in my line of sight. Something was trickling from the slit in his mask. Vicious drops fell to the wooden planks. Saliva. Some unknown force pushed me in the back, whispering me to save myself. The fence was flashing by at the edge of my vision. I was running in another direction this time, toward the toothy edge of the forest that smelled of pine. My heartbeat measured time. The wolf boy growled behind my back as if he fought his human nature. My right leg got stuck in the snow-laden cavity. I yanked it out, cursing under my breath, and fell to the ground. Plastering snow prevented me from standing up, from propping myself against anything. But my unbound thirst for my life helped me get out of that trap. Darkness was creeping closer, like the toxic fumes of burial pyres. I ran again, gasping for air that stung my throat. My hair swayed in the wind. I lost my hat when I fell down, and my ears were now hot from the freezing cold, while most of my body was still sweaty. The field finally ended. After realizing that running into the forest wasn't the smartest decision I could make, I dove into the line of trees. I ran without stopping. My face covered one of my palms. I didn't want to lose an eye to some random branch. Branches whipped my clothes, pricked my skin like butchers that were herding a pig into the grinder. A knot of roots sprouting from the ground grabbed at my foot. I rammed into the scratchy trunk, slid down to its base, and looked around in a panic.
Ух, какой ты быстрый.
So this is the talking fox that was mentioned earlier. Phew, you're so fast. My first desire was to dash toward her and hug her. I resisted it and squeezed myself even tighter into the pine.
Что ты здесь делаешь?
You, what are you doing here?
Да вот,
This and that. She was holding the hat I lost.
находок подрабатываю.
Working part-time in Lost and Found.
Одевай, а то уши замерзнут, а потом, глядишь, и вовсе отвалятся.
Put it on, or your ears will freeze and maybe even fall off soon. She giggled. I squinted in suspicion and shifted my gaze back and forth between her and the hat, scared that Elisa might be holding a severed head or something even more sinister. But in the end, my hat turned out to be just my hat. I took it and pulled it over my forehead.
Тепло.
Feeling warmer? I didn't reply.
Там во дворе были какие-то дети.
There were some children in the yard.
И что, покусали тебя, что ли?
And? Did they bite you or something?
Нет.
No.
А чего же ты убежал?
Then why did you run away? The answer was obvious, but after rolling the thought on my tongue, I mumbled,
Не знаю.
I don't know.
Эх, обещала не обзывать тебя.
Ah, why did I promise to never call you a dunce again?
А я обещание исполняю.
Oh well, I keep my promises. She walked up to me and grabbed me by my elbow. I sensed the familiar aroma of mint, oranges, and burnt sparklers. I wanted to lean into Alice, and to savor the minute details of her smell.
Сколько можно повторять? Со мной ты в безопасности.
How many times do I need to tell you? You're safe as long as you're with me.
Я твой друг.
I'm your friend.
И они.
And they are too. I quickly turned around toward the place the fox girl was pointing to. Well, it's a horror game, so those jump scares are actually meant to remind you that I'm pretty sure they're meant to remind you it's a horror game. Kids in masks appeared at the clearing. At least they looked like kids, since they were all pretty short. A wolf boy, an owl girl, and a bear boy. Okay, I have a theory. I'm assuming these people in the masks are the ones that went missing. I mean, look at this bear, he's fat. The bear... I don't think I remember seeing a bear before this episode. So I'm assuming this bear is Semyon. Obviously the other boy, the wolf, is Vova, and this would be the other girl that went missing that we only found out in this episode. I'm assuming that the kids missing are them. They all huffed and gasped for air, clearly tired from running around.
Я думала, ты в снег провалился.
I thought you fell through the snow.
Стала снег копать, нет тебя.
Started digging around, but couldn't find you.
А я не копал, лень копать было.
And I didn't care enough. He even sounds like him.
А ну как получается? Если дурак, ты бегай да копай.
You see, if you're dumb, you run around and dig.
Если умный, подожди, пока другие набегаются, накопаются и устанут.
And if you're smart, you wait until the others get tired of running around and digging.
Уж тогда заводи разговор.
Then you start talking.
Как я рад!
You're a rat.
Дегенерат!
Degenerate.
А?
Не обращай внимания, он со странностями.
Don't mind him, he is a weirdo. I stood there stupefied, my mouth agape and my hands dangling helplessly. I had no idea how to react to the words of these late-night guests, but I managed to squeeze out something resembling a smile.
Вы просто меня напугали.
You just scared me, that's all. They started looking at each other, and somebody even snorted, as if I said something funny.
Да, да, лиса права.
Yes, yes! The fox is right!
Это он.
He's the real one. Oh, he's the one. No. This is our... Have we finally found him?
Наш зайчик.
Our bunny.
Да-да, похож.
Yes, he looks the part. The wolf boy started wagging a part of his costume like it was his tail in excitement. First.
Ну, конечно, ты первый.
Of course you were first.
Волчик раньше всех почуял зайчика в тебе и рассказал нам.
Wolfie here was the first to sense the bunny in you. He told us about you.
Здравствуй.
Hello.
С нашей совушкой ты знаком не понаслышке. Не такая уж она и страшная, правда?
And you've already met our Hootie before. She isn't that scary, is she?
Да, наверное.
I guess.
А этот улыбчивый бугай — медвежонка.
And this smiling big guy is Teddy.
Поласковее, а то голову откусит.
Be mindful with him, or he'll chew off your head.
Зачем это?
What?
Да, смотрю, ты чувство юмора где-то обронил.
I see you've also dropped your sense of humor somewhere on the way here. I was still unsure if these peculiar little animals had the best intentions in mind, so I hid my hands behind my back, trying to look away from the gaping holes of their carnival masks. Alisa put her hands to her sides in a theatrical manner, and somehow managed to wink with her fox mask.
Когда в следующий раз придем, будем звенеть в колокольчики, чтобы ты не так боялся нашего визита.
The next time we come, we'll ring bells for you. That way you'll be less scared of our visit.
У нас разве есть колокольчики?
Do we even have bells?
Я звенить не буду.
I won't be
У
ringing.
меня лапка болит.
My paws hurt. My smile was no longer fake.
О, зубы показал. Это добрый знак.
Ah, you showed us your teeth. That's a good sign.
Ожидала, что сможем тебя рассмешить.
I didn't expect you to find us fun.
Я думала, это под силу только Диснейленду.
I thought it was an emotion reserved strictly to Disneyland.
Откуда ты знаешь?
How do you know that?
Да так, прочитала кое-где.
I read about it. Somewhere.
Про меня?
You read about me?
Про клюв от воробья. Про Диснейленд яхонтовый.
Aren't you funny? No, about Disneyland, darling.
Ты умеешь читать по-человечески?
You can read human?
Зря я, что ли, в школу хожу день ото дня.
Do you think I've been going to school every day for nothing? And then she's saying, in a coquettish voice,
Как детей не замечать, как мечты их развенчать. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе. Крепко-накрепко
What?
вловить, с детства слабеньких чморить. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе.
Oh, wait, what? I'm not singing that, by the way, but... Okay. I let out a cautious laugh. This is a completely different mood to what I just went through a few minutes ago. My new acquaintance didn't seem scary anymore. On the contrary, they looked friendly and welcoming. There was something about them that attracted me. Just like this clearing, this moon, and the snowflakes that fell backwards. From the ground to the sky, as if someone was rewinding a tape. The masked kids got close and I felt their touch. They gave me friendly taps, felt my clothes as if checking whether I was real. It may be horror, but it's also, yeah, it definitely is. Well, honestly, that's probably one of the things that I really love about this game. There was no animalistic malice in their touch, only pure childish curiosity. For some reason, I thought to myself, I can trust them. Snowflakes just kept on floating upwards, as snow usually does. It doesn't come from the sky, it comes from the ground.
Никто тебя больше не обидит.
Nobody will hurt you anymore.
Рок.
Ren.
Пусть только попробуют.
Yeah, if somebody even tries to. The fox gave me a slight tug and burst out laughing.
Тоша, убежишь с воплями или с нами пойдешь?
Well then, Tosha, will you run away screaming or come with us? Where to?
На аттракционы!
To the amusement park. At that moment, Tiger's deceptive silence was broken by the sound of a distant flute. Mesmerizing and alluring, it brought me to the ring of crystal glass and the whispers of a fresh winter spring. If I had any doubts before, the flute's song shattered the last of them. I started following my new friends before I could even make my decision. Hey, I saw that shadow move! My legs carried me of their own will, and the tunnels made of pine stepped apart. Bushes bowed in front of our procession. Everything looked dreamlike. Because even the clearing I only saw in my dream. The flute soared up in the treetops like some fantastical bird. The snowflakes floated up in a spiral. The moon painted tree branches with silver. Elisa gasped in amazement. I was also in awe. I tilted my head backwards as far as I could. What the sights?
Очень красиво.
It's so beautiful. Wolfie howled in agreement.
Это мелочи.
This is nothing.
Покажу гораздо больше.
I can show you much more
Ты захочешь.
if you want. I did want. I wanted to see what the fox girl saw with her eyes, hidden in the semi-dark of her cape. Now I didn't feel weird about these masked kids. I felt weird for being the only one without a mask. I felt like I was naked in the January winds.
Скажите, а зачем вам маски?
Why do you wear these masks? I was trembling, but I wasn't scared. My trembling wasn't caused by the cold. It originated from the peculiar anxiousness, the anticipation of something amazing.
Тебе зачем?
Why do you ask? I touched my cold cheek.
Я без маски.
I'm not wearing one.
Обожаю человеческие сказки.
I love human tales.
Человеческие ласки.
Human nails?
Человеческие дрязги.
Human fails.
Я же говорила,
I've already told you.
все жители поселка носят маски.
All the villagers wear masks.
Скрываются за ними отнюдь не люди.
It's just you won't find anything human underneath them.
И даже я?
Even me?
Ты такой рассеянный, Антон.
You're so clumsy, Anton.
Однажды мы уже нашли твои очки.
You've already found your glasses once already.
И шапку.
And your hat.
И твое настоящее лицо.
And your real face. I looked at the mask the fox was holding out to me. The bunny mask that looked like a silver ingot under the moonlight. I was curious to see the world through its slits. Suddenly, fighting its way through the flute's melody, a thought came to me. The glasses they found were in Semyon's possession. My new acquaintance must have known what happened to him. Or even worse.
А куда подевался Семен? Что с ним стало?
And where did Semyon disappear to? What happened to
И
him?
с остальными детьми?
The other children. The bear and the owl looked at each other. The wolf boy curled into a ball, and the fox lowered the pointy nose of her mask.
Тот, кого держали в клетке.
The one who was kept in a cage.
Тот, кто режет мелко-мелко.
The one who cuts into little pieces.
Тот, кто носит кожаное лицо, забрал их.
The one who wears a skinned face took them.
Умел бы я креститься, перекрестился бы.
If I knew how to cross myself, I'd do it.
Хотите сказать, это был человек?
Are you saying it was a human?
Чем ты только слушал?
You even listening to us?
Разве можно назвать такого, как он, человеком?
How can you call someone like him human?
Одно слово. Взрослый.
It's just one word for him. An adult.
В мире взрослых так легко
It's
потеряться.
It's so easy to get lost in the adult world.
Убийцы, жестокие дрессировщики,
Killers,
равнодушные родители.
cruel animal trainers, and cold parents.
Лучше об этом вовсе не думать, чтобы не грустить.
If you don't want to get sad, better not think about
Не
them.
знаю, как вам, а мне печалиться совсем не хочется.
I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to be sad.
И я сегодня какой-то негрустный.
Somehow, I'm also not sad today.
Антон, а ты?
What about you, Anton? I was lost in thought, staring at the pines, trying to pinpoint the location of the flute. I was sure that the person who played it was standing right behind the piney stockade. Someone tall, going over the holes in the flute with their long fingers.
Что, сядем тосковать или займемся отдыхом?
What now? Are we gonna sit and be sad or have some fun? I don't think the owl needs the coat. I say that, but I mean, technically none of these animals would need a coat. But yeah, I'm assuming the feathers are the coat.
Алиса хотела что-то показать.
Elisa wanted to show me something.
Давай начнем с самой сладкой части программы.
Let's start with the sweet stuff. The fox girl took out a handful of candy from her pocket and handed them to each of the kids. Covers shuffled. The smell of pineapple, cocoa, and melon wafted through the air. The last treat, a chocolate-covered waffled candy, Elisa put right into my mouth. My tongue was engulfed in spiciness. I felt like my body was covered in fur and small sparks were running along it. I chewed on the waffle and the chocolate, gulped them down, enjoying the vivid taste.
Спасибо.
Thanks. My gratitude was barely audible because my lips were already touching the insides of a mask. I didn't even notice how I put it against my face. The paper mache was warm. The mask stuck to my skin, giving it a nice prickle. The kind when you dive into a hot bath after being outside in winter. When you lie there and purr from the soapy water.
Боже, это твое!
See? I told you. This is yours.
Мое.
Mine?
Что стоим? За нас веселиться никто не будет.
What are we waiting for? The fun won't have itself. The melody kept swirling in the field like a hurricane. I couldn't wait to release the energy, the heat that this enchanting music was filling me with. There's no way that was the kid. He actually flew. I'm questioning that, but not the snow going to space. The owl jumped and disappeared into the sky. I heard her laughter from somewhere above, and then she landed back, huffing and sighing.
Ты и так можешь. Попробуй.
You can do it too. Give it a try. I followed suit. My feet tore off from the ground. I flew towards the stars like a rocket and screamed from happiness after seeing my friends down below. The wind helped me fly. It felt like I was jumping on a huge trampoline. I don't remember there ever being color in any other thing until this exact frame. I could be wrong. The stars looked like vivid sparkles that I could reach and lick up. The moon also got closer, and then I plunged. I got scared that I'd break my legs for a moment, but my soles landed softly on the ground, and I regained my balance.
В безопасности!
You're safe with us,
Мои мечты станут явью!
and all your dreams will come true.
Я так счастлива наконец обрести тебя!
I'm so happy that I finally found you.
Зайчик!
Bunny. In a fit of merry laughter, I realized the most important thing. These four are not a threat. My real enemies, and I felt that with every single hair on my mask, were those who knew nothing about magic. The power of the mask gave me the ability to see colors. Humans from the village. I also realized how alive my surroundings have become. I heard the dry grass under the snow moan. I saw faces of the trees and stars. The trees were smirking and the stars were grimacing in fear. That's right. Be scared. I'll jump up to you. And I snapped my teeth, then let out a jubilant laugh, jumping up along the fox. We flew higher than the tallest pines and stayed in the air. I swirled, Elisa followed with my rhythm. I knew that she was smiling, so I smiled too. And the flute just kept on playing, carrying us higher and higher.
Ты чё, опять в облаках летаешь?
Hey, got your head in the clouds again? Not with you around. I thought, trying to unglue my chin from the desk. My muscles felt slightly sore, but that feeling was pleasant. The whole class was wandering about for some reason, whispering and passing notes to each other. Their faces looked like discolored masks to me, bleak and boring. I yawned, remembering the time I was soaring high above the forest, with Elisa by my side, laughing and squeezing my hand. Perhaps, no, probably, it was all just a dream. Because I didn't walk back from the forest, just woke up in my bed on a normal morning, with tea and medicine. Still, I was hardly worried about trying to find a rational explanation for my night dance. That feeling of flight was much more important. The knowledge of how it feels to be hanging in the air above the treetops of majestic pines and burying my teeth to the moon.
Ну чего?
What do you want?
Чё-чё? Пока ты носом клевал, Катька пропала.
What do I want? While you were not enough, Katya went missing. My sleepiness was gone in an instant. I frowned in suspicion.
Как пропала? Быть не может.
What do you mean? It can't be. Katya Smirnova, 12 years old, grade 6B, was last seen during the day on January 16th at the schoolyard. Identifying features: 155 centimeters tall, green eyes, light brown hair, lean build. She was dressed in a fur hooded coat, a knitted hat with a pom-pom, a white scarf, and gloves. Special identifying features: wears a strawberry-themed scrunchie. If anybody has information on Katya's whereabouts, call the following number. I know I said that she was foreshadowing that she's gonna be the next victim. I did not think she actually was gonna be the next victim. Episode 4. Stomp your hooves and wait. Wow. Well, that was episode 3. Before I end up continuing and playing this, that was entirely episode 3, and I gotta say that there was weird tonal changes, but it kept its charm in there, especially when it got to the horror elements. Like, the horror elements were definitely something that were there. The animals in the woods being one of the major things, and obviously a jump scare from the past that I never got to witness, but yeah, dog. It is strange, but honestly, I just can't help but love what's going on in this game. I kind of had the theory that the kids that are missing are the kids behind the masks. But at the same time, we learned about the little girl that was missing before Vova and Semyon. And now Katya's missing. And the thing is, that fox was always there. So there has to be an initial victim. Unless the little girl that went missing is the fox and the owl is Katya. Because sure, there was always an owl there before, but Olia was always scared of the owl. And obviously, Tiny Bunny would. I'm starting to see the picture. It revolves around me. Obviously, I'm the one with the bunny mask now, so it seems episode 4 is where it's gonna start picking up more against whatever it is that's making these kids disappear, since we kind of did touch up upon it on this episode. But we'll wait and see. There's still episode 4. That one is currently out. Episode 5, I believe, is still in development. I could be completely wrong. Episode 5 probably did release already. But, yeah. So this was Tiny Bunny episode 3. Let me head to the main menu for that. Are you sure you want... I'm pretty sure I saved. Was this menu always like this? I completely don't remember. But yes, I'm assuming that's me. Obviously, there's the owl back there, the wolf, the fox, and that's obviously the bear. So honestly, I'm very... I'm assuming episode 4 is out, so I can play through it right now if I want to. But it's 6 a.m. and I haven't slept. so yeah. Next stream, I'll definitely play through episode 4. It's just episode 5, I would probably have to wait because it's probably still in development. I could be wrong. It could probably already be out. But at the same time, I am not completely sure. I do not remember anything being said about Steam updating this saying episode 5 has been released. Or I haven't seen any like developer notes or anything. I could try to see if it is, but yeah, episode 5, as for the moment, I do not think is currently out. But again, I could be completely wrong. If it is out, I can't wait to get there. But if it's not out, I'll have to wait. There's another thing that I'll have to put off on to wait for it to hold. Because there's definitely a bunch of things that I still decided to put on hold. I opened up Steam right now. I'm looking at the thing. Okay, so I got distracted. Phasmophobia is apparently going to be released on consoles for the Halloween event. Anyway, so if I look at Tiny Bunny and like any like developments, I am missing so many achievements for this. Then I gotta go through this again. I earned a trading card. I didn't know that was a thing. So, according to this, the last development thing for this was July 23rd, 2023, which was episode 4, translation in Chinese. Episode 4 was released on May 31st, 2023. That was a little over a year ago already. I do not see anything about episode 5 being released as of yet, but since it is a Russian-made game, there could be issues with it. So there's that as well. So episode 4 is out. It's just episode 5 is still in development. I believe I saw something saying that episode 5 was planned for this year, but I could be completely wrong. It could be... I'm scrolling through the developer notes. It could be a long wait. As I'm seeing, episode 3 was released in December 30th, 2021, and for episode 4 was May 20th, 2023. That's a little over a year, a little bit over a year in development. So I do not mind waiting for that long. But yeah, just to let everyone know, episode 5 is still in development by the looks of it. Progress is slow. It could be a small team, but it's fine. From what I remember being told, I believe every image shown is hand drawn as well. There's a specific artist that hand draws every single frame in this, so that's honestly that's a very commendable thing as well. And as I said, I fell in love with this game. I originally played it for Halloween. I forgot which Halloween. I believe it was 2023. I did a tier list on it. I already forgot which one it was. So I did it. So it was. I played it was not a trailer. It was like a prologue. It was the entire episode 1. The entirety of episode 1 was released for free, and I played through that, and I fell in love with it on episode 1, and I hated where it left off there, and I wanted to continue. Someone bought the game for me, so thing is, from the full release compared to the prologue of this, I had to go through episode 1 again, and that's when I realized they updated episode 1 in this release, as well as added voice acting. There was not voice acting in the original prologue, but there's voice acting now, so just knowing that there's voice acting, every image in this is hand drawn, and also the whole story. Episode 4 didn't release until last year, so there's still time for episode 5 to come out. I don't know when episode 5 will come out. It'll come out in the future. There will be a trailer for it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I really just love this game. I really do. It could be awkward at times, but it's like a weird awkward that I welcome it just to get a break from the horror. And then the horror kicks in and it just kicks it up to 11. Because I was fully expecting to get in a fight with my friend to fight for my love, and it turns out it was just an owl that broke its neck just to look at me. That honestly, that made me scared. That made me jump when I saw that. So episode 3, honestly, very still up there as to be very good, and I can't wait to see what episode 4 brings. When will episode 4 come out? You'll know when I know, because I took a long break between episode 2 and 3. I believe I actually have it here as well. Yeah, when I played episode 2, when I finished episode 2, it was October 20th, and then I came back and it's July 17th. So I'm pretty sure that's like half a year, over half a year. So I promise I'm not gonna spend half a year waiting for episode 4 to release. I might just do it the next stream, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this was Tiny Bunny episode 3. I forgot the name of the episode. It was right there in the loading screen. Episode 4 to come shortly in the future. I know I have other things that I have planned that I need to do, but yes, episode 4 will be very, very soon. And there's a bunch of... I will go through all of this again, because there's a bunch of achievements to do. I just don't know if I'm going to stream the other routes. But we'll see how it goes. I'm loving this game, and I would not mind playing through it again. So, I thank you all for joining me through episode 3 on this adventure. It was a very long one. I'm getting back into the whole loop of trying to get through all of this, and yeah, OBS had an update and everything looks weird to me now, but it is what it is. Thank you for joining me on this. Eventually episode 4 will be released. I'm not saying it's gonna be next stream, just be aware that it will come sooner than episode 3 and 2 came out. I partly want to space it out just to give it time for episode 5 to release, but we'll see how it goes. I might just end up playing episode 4 right off the bat, just because I love where this is going, and I'm probably going to be left on the cliffhanger, and I don't know for how long. So, in the end, I hope I helped make your day at least a little bit better, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good night, good day. Be careful for foxes, wolves, bunnies, and bears, and owls. I don't think I missed one. And adults, apparently, as well. Take care again.